Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Friday, April 15th, last day of the school week. It's a little chilly here at the school. It's chilly outside this morning, and since there's no kids here, they don't turn the heat on. So, a little cold in here this morning. That's okay. We'll do our best we can. Once again, the numbers on your math are different in real life than what it said on the paper. I made a mistake. But I fixed it for next time, so when mom or dad comes in to pick up your new folder for the next 3 weeks. I have 3 weeks of work in there. I think I got all the numbers correct, although I could have made mistakes on that too. It's not easy to kind of go next week, then next week, then next week, and try to put it all together with, and we haven't been together for 3 weeks already or more. Oh my. Okay, well, we're going to do the best that we can. Alright, I did learn one thing though. Since I keep forgetting the cursive letters sometimes, what I'm going to do, I think, at least for today, is start with our cursive letter first. So, if you want to get your cursive page out, we're doing capital S's today, which are kind of like medium hard. Not super easy, but kind of in the middle. So if you want to pause it, get out your cursive writing paper with the capital S's. It should be your last cursive writing paper in that folder, or wherever you keep it, and we'll do that first today. So let's zoom in just a bit on the board. I already have my lines on the board. Okay. Now, cursive capital S's start down low, and they go slanty up, loop and go down, hit the ground and go back, and then a little smiley. They're kind of one of my favorite letters. I mean, they're nice looking. They're kind of fancy looking for an S, but they're not too hard to make. So you go up, down, back, and a little smiley thing at the end. So we're going to go slanty up, loop around and down, go back, little smiley. Slanty up, loop around and down, go back, and there you go. Let me make one more. Slanty up, loop down, when you hit the ground, go backwards, and up a little bit. There we go. We're going to kind of go up a hill, then down the hill. Up the hill, down the hill. And we've made those things before on some of our other letters, so those are not new to us. If you need me to do them a couple more times for you, you can go ahead and rewind the video and watch me do it a few more times. Remember to trace the ones at the beginning of the row. That will help you out a lot when doing your capital cursive S's. Go ahead and use one finger space between each one, and then at the bottom there should be some words using capital S's. Alright, you may finish your page for capital S's now. Pause that, take your time and do that, and then when you're ready, take out your math page for today, page 282. 282. Okay, today we're going to be continuing on with rounding off numbers. We've been rounding off numbers for a couple days now. Hopefully you've been getting pretty good at it. This is kind of something new that we're learning at home now. We're going to use what we learned and do the next thing with rounding off numbers. This is why I'm at the whiteboard again. I kind of miss having the cool backgrounds. You know how I had like the pizza background one time, and I had like the woods and the river background. I like having those extra backgrounds, but sometimes we got to be at the whiteboard because there's things I have to show you that is easier for you to see than for me just to tell you and imagine it. Because it helps you learn better. Helps me learn better. Alright, so we've been learning about rounding off numbers, and we know that rounding off numbers, they have to have a 0 in the ones place. So if I had number 17, can you see that? I'm just going to zoom in on it a bit. 17. 17 comes between 10 and 20. So if we're going to round off 17, is it closer to 10 or closer to 20? It's closer to 20. So we round off 17 to 20. Suppose I had, 112. Now this is a hundreds place one, but you know what? I'm going to change this a little bit, just so it's not similar to what we did. 152. What tens does it come between? Well, it comes between 150 and 160. We can kind of pretend the 100 isn't even there. So 52 come between 50 and 60. So is 52 closer to 50, or is 52 closer to 60? 52 52 is closer to 50. So 152 rounds to 150. We go to the one it's closest to. And of course, the one rule is that if it's a 5 in the ones place, it always goes up to the up number, the higher number. So that's a rule that we need to remember. All right. Erase, erase, erase. So, why are we learning this? Well, so we can learn how to estimate sums. What does estimate sums mean? Well, it means we round off the numbers and then we add them because it's easier and quicker and we can do it in our brains. Now, if you look at the top of your paper, it says estimating sums. To estimate the sum of 2-digit addends, round each addend to the nearest 10. Why would we estimate the sums? Well, to make it easier to add when we don't need to find the exact number. Remember I told you about the kids playing outside? I think it was a couple days ago or yesterday, the kids playing outside. I didn't need to know the exact number of kids, but we had an estimated number. So, here we have 21 plus 28. 21 plus 28. Now, that might be hard to do in our brains. 21 plus 28, how can I figure that out? Now we can do like 4 plus 5 in our brains, and 3 plus 7 in our brains, the one-digit numbers. But two-digit numbers? Now if we don't need to know the exact answer, we can estimate the sum. That means we find a close answer. So first of all, we round off each number. So 21 is closest to, well, it's between 20 and 30. 21 is between 20 and 30. Which one is it closest to? It's closer to 20. So I'll round this off to 20. Boop. Now 28. 28 is also between 20 and 30. Which one is it closest to? It's closer to 30. So now we have two numbers that are easy to add in our brains. Well, 20 plus 30. We can just think of 2 plus 3. Do you know what 2 plus 3 is? Yeah, 2 plus 3 makes 5. So 20 plus 30 must be 50. If 2 plus 3 makes 5, 20 plus 30 makes 50. We can do the same thing for hundreds. 200 plus 300 makes 500. We did this before. 2,000 plus 3,000 makes 5,000. 2 and 3 and 5 go together. Kind of a family. All right, let's do a couple of these together. We're going to estimate each sum. We're going to round off the top number, round off the bottom number, and then add them together to find out what the estimated sum is. So we have 49 plus 22 in the first box. 49 rounds to, well, it's between 40 and 50. Which one is it closest to? It's closer to 50. So put 50 in there. 49 rounds to 50 because it's closest to 50. 22 rounds to, well, 22 is between 20 and 30. Which one is it closest to? 20. So now we're going to add our rounded off numbers, 50 on top and 20 on the bottom. 50 plus 20 makes, hopefully you can do it in your brain, because we can do 5 plus 2 in our brain. Maybe we can do 50 plus 20 in our brain. If you can't, it's okay to do ones place, tens place, but the purpose of this is to try to be able to figure out finding the close answer using just our brain. That's the idea. Let's look at letter B, 15 plus 14. Well, 15 is between 10 and 20. It's in the middle. That means it goes to the higher number, so it rounds to 20. So 15 rounds to 20. 14 rounds to, well, 14 is also between 10 and 20. Is it closer to 10 or closer to 20? It goes to the lower number, 10. So now we have 20 plus 10. Can you do 20 plus 10 in your brain? Well, we can do 2 plus 1 in our brain. So 20 plus 10, we should be able to do that. Now, since we did two of them together, I want you to try C and D on your own. Round off the top number, round off the bottom number, add them together. If you can, it's great if you can do it in your brain. It helps just to think of the tens place numbers and then just add a 0 on the end for the answer. Okay, once you're finished with part 1, or if you need more time, you could pause. Go on to part 2, we have some multiplication questions. Now I see a 0 family in the first one. I see a 5 family on the second one, a 10 family on the third one. So I see all multiplication families that we learn. We learned the zeros, the 5s, the 10s, we learned the times 2s, which is the doubles, and we learned the times 1s. All ones that we learned. So go ahead and do part 2. And when you're ready, you can start part 3 with me. It says circle 1/3 of the wildflowers Jenny and Emily saw at the campground. Let me draw a picture for that on the board. Let's see, let me count the wildflowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my word, there's a lot. Let me start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I saw 18 flowers. Oh my word, it's going to take me too long. I'm just going to draw sticks for flowers because it would take me way too long to draw all those flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, 18 flowers there. And it says circle 1/3 of the group. That means we have to make 3 equal groups. 3 equal groups. So, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 2 groups of 7, 2 groups of 7, and then a group of 4. So we can't do 7s because we have 2 groups of 7 and a group of 4. That wouldn't be enough. So if 7 doesn't work, let's try a different one. Let's try 6. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It works! We make 3 equal groups of 6. Here's a group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's a group of 6. And here's a group of 6. So 1/3 of 18 is 6. We make 3 equal groups. Every group has 6. 6 plus 6 plus 6. 6 times 3 makes 18. It all works out. So circle 6 of those wildflowers that Jenny and Emily found at the campground. Number 4, of the 12 elk the children saw on Tuesday, 4 were females. How many male elk did they see? Well, if we know how many elk there were altogether, and we know how many were females, how are we going to find out how many males there are? Well, we have to start with our altogether number, take away the females, which is 4, and that will tell us how many males are. Because whatever number is left over, that's how many males of elk there are. And don't forget our label, because it even gives us a reminder on their label. And if we look in the thing, they're nice enough to put it in red for us. Males would be the label for that one, or male elks. You know, whatever we're talking about that the question's asking for. All right, you can finish your page and unpause it when you're ready, and also turn it to the back side, and we'll do that together. Make sure your name is on top. Number 1, write the 2 tens each number is between. Circle the number it rounds to. This is more rounding practice. I'll do the first one with you, and then you can do the second 2 on your own. 33. What tens does 33 come between? 33 is between 30 and 40. 30 is down low, 40 is up high, between 30 and 40. Which one is it closest to? So put 30 and 40 in the blank. Is it closer to 30 or closer to 40? Closer to 30, because it's below 35. 35 is the middle. Everything down lower than that rounds to 30, so circle the 30. I'll read you the next 2, and you can figure them out on your own. 75 is between blank and blank. So what are the tens that 75 is between? And then once you write those in there, circle the one that it rounds to. It's in the middle because it's 75. What's the rule for the 5? I've said it lots of times now. 59 is between blank and blank. So what are the tens that 59 comes between? And then circle the one that it would round to, that it's closest to. There's a picture of Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep. It looks like he's singing a song, although I don't know why he's singing the song. Okay, number 2. Write the sums and differences. You should be experts at that by now. Make sure you pay attention to the signs first. Number 3, you'll need a crayon for. You can pick whatever color you like. You can pick your favorite color or whatever color is close by. Crayon or color pencil will be fine. Color to show the fractions. Write greater than, less than, or equals. So, in the first fraction, we have a circle. It is cut in 2 pieces. How many should we color in? Well, down below it says 1/2. The bottom number tells us how many altogether pieces. That's 2. The top number tells us how many to color. One piece. On the other side, it's cut into 3 equal pieces. The bottom number tells us how many pieces altogether. The top number tells us how many to color in. Now, after you colored them both in, look at them closely. Which fraction, which piece is bigger? Is the 1/2 piece bigger or the 1/3 piece bigger? Don't get tricked by the numbers down below. Yeah, I know 1/3, 3 is bigger than 2 in the bottom. But that's tricky in fractions because that means they cut them into more pieces. So look at the size of the piece. That'll help you. On the other side, 2/4. There's 4 pieces altogether. 2 means we color in 2 pieces. On the other side, we have 3 pieces. The bottom number tells us how many pieces altogether. The top number tells us how many to color in. Once you've colored those in, look at the part that's colored in. See which side is bigger. Is the 2/4 bigger or the 2/3 bigger? You might be able to tell just by using your noggin. All right, I'm going to read number 4 to you. Grandma and Grandpa are going camping with their grandchildren. Each of the 6 children is bringing a winter jacket and a light jacket. How many jackets are the children bringing all together? Now, all together we usually use for addition. However, if there are 6 children and each child brings 2 jackets, each child is like a group of 2 because each child is bringing 2 jackets and there's 6 children. So if we use groups, that's a clue to what sign we need to use. And don't forget to put your label on the end. And the label is listed in red letters in the word question. Number 5, write the quotients. Quotients means the answer to a division question. So each one of these you're going to be dividing by 6 divided by 2. How many 2's can fit into 6? 30 divided by 5. How many 5's fit into 30? These are count bys. Count by helps us figure out our division questions and answers. All right, you can pause it there. Take your time, do your paper carefully. When you're finished, put it in with the papers that are going to go back to me so I can check them. And when you're ready, you can unpause it and we'll do phonics together. All right, we are on page 273 today. 273 today. Okay, it says remember these suffix spelling rules. When a root word ends with one consonant and the vowel is short, double the consonant before adding a suffix beginning with a vowel. Sounds like I got a googly-gook there. It just means what we practiced before. If we have a short vowel and a consonant and we have to add ER or EST or ED, we double the consonant. That's what we do for short vowels. When the root word ends with a silent E, we drop the E before adding a suffix that begins with a vowel. That just means, let me show you. So I'm not just talking, I'm showing. All right, the first rule we learned was let me just zoom in just a little. Just a little so you can see a little better. If we have a short vowel word, how about big? And I want to make bigger, I put an extra G on there before I make bigger. Got that? Got that? There we go, bigger. But if I have a long vowel word with a silent E on the end, I drop the E like this. Let's see. Gave. Nope, that's not going to work, is it? Because you can't have something like that. Let's see here. Dive. Yeah, dive will work. If I want to make dived or diving, I have to drop my E before I add ing or ed. Now that rule, let me back out just a bit so you can see. That rule also works for words that have a silent E, like that aren't long vowel words. Like sometimes they're sight words, like give. Okay? See, give is not a long vowel word. It's kind of like a sight word, but it still has a silent E on the end. So if I want to make giving, I drop the E before I add ing. So it's not just long vowel words, it's any words with a silent E on the end. We drop it before we add ing or ed. All right, add er to an adjective when comparing two things. This is pretty complicated. We're going to just do our best, though. Add est to an adjective when comparing three or more things. So if we're saying two people or two things, we use bigger or biggest or smarter. We use smarter or bigger. But if it's like lots of things or three things, we used est. Not super important, but we're going to learn anyways. Read the sentences, write the correct adjective in the blank. Our new tent is nice than our old one. Should we say nicer or nicest? Our new tent is nicer than our old one. Yeah, nicer fits. Because we're comparing two things. We're comparing our new tent and our old tent, which is only two things. If we were comparing three things, like 5 tents that we have, we would say est and biggest in the end. The hike we took today was short than yesterday's hike. We're comparing today's hike and yesterday's hike, so we use er because we're only comparing two things. Shorter. So the word we want to use is shorter. That is the long snake I have ever seen. Now in this one, we're not comparing two things, we're comparing all the snakes we've ever seen, so we want to use est. We're not just comparing two things. So we don't say that is the longer snake I've ever seen, that is the longest snake I've ever seen. The puppy is the happy puppy in the litter. So the puppy is the happier puppy in the litter. The puppy is the happiest puppy in the litter. So we're not comparing two things, we're comparing all the puppies in the litter. The litter means all the puppies that were born at the same time. So all the puppies that have the same mom that were born at the same time. So if a dog has a whole bunch of puppies, that's all part of the same litter. That's what they say it. Now I know sometimes litter, we say like people who throw garbage out on the ground when they're not supposed to, that's litter too, but different kind of litter. All right, we're going to add the suffixes to the root words. We're going to change icy into icier and icy into iciest. Now, since we have a y on the end and a consonant before it, we're going to take away the y, change it to an I, and then add our er or add our est. So change the y to an I before we add to make icier and est and iciest. For green, we don't really have to do anything. There's no y on the end, there's no silent letter to drop. So for green, we just put greener and greenest. Greener and greenest. Now yummy has a y on the end with a consonant before it. So that means we got to change that y into an I before we add er, and to change the y to an I before we add est. My cookie is yummier than yours. So I compared my cookie and your cookie. Grandma makes the yummiest cookies in the world. That's comparing all the cookies in the world. So I would use est on that one. And also change the y to an I. All right. You can pause it now, and when you're ready, we'll do dictation together. Okay. On dictation, I'm going to read you some sentences and tell you which word I want you to put in there. Aaron is practicing his cursive writing. On his first test, he did a good job. So put good in the first blank for good job. So if he did good on his first one, did he do gooder on his second one? No, gooder is not a word. He did a better job on the second one. So in the second blank, I want you to put better, because he did better on the second one. First he did a good job. Next he did a better job. On the last one, did he do the goodest job ever? No, he did the best job. So he did good, then better, then best job. Those are the 3 jobs that Aaron did. When you're ready, let's start the back side together. Number 1, write the words under the contractions. Here we have some contractions. We're going to take them apart and put them into the words that make them. So we'll do the first line together. I'll help you with those. And then the second row you'll do on your own. So we're is made up of 2 words. Okay, we're is made up of we are. We're, we are. The apostrophe where the A used to be. We're is we are. Oops, wrong way. Next is should've. Should've. Should've is should and v. Well, what is the v? It's have. So I make should have. Should have. Let's just move this down just a bit so you can see. There you go. Should've is should have. Now, should is already spelled for you in should've. So that should be easy. Should have. And the last one is a super easy one. It's. It's, of course, if we take it apart, is it and is, which I'm not going to write on the board for you because you should know how to spell it and is. So it is, it's. The second row is aren't, wasn't, and I'm. Take them apart and separate them into the 2 words that make them. All right, when you're ready, let's start part 2 together. Write may or can on the lines. Now remember, may is for permission. If you're allowed to do something. Can means you're able to do something. May I go outside? It's asking if I'm allowed to. I can lift something heavy. That means I'm able to. 2 different things. Mom, blank I call Grandma this afternoon. Is it asking for permission or the ability? I want to tell her that I blank ride a bike now. Does she want to tell Grandma that she's allowed to ride a bike now or that she is able to ride a bike now? I'm going to ask her if I blank help her in the garden. Is she asking for permission to help in the garden or is she asking if she's able to help in the garden? I'm glad that Grandma lives near us now, so we blank visit her often. So we're allowed to visit more often or so that we're able to visit more often? May for permission, for allowed. Can for ability. Number 3, write a predicate part for each sentence. That means a verb till the ending of the sentence. So we're going to finish these sentences. My silly puppy, what could we write in there to finish our sentence? My silly puppy chews on socks? Maybe. My silly puppy plays in the puddle? I don't know, whatever. My silly puppy eats lots of food. So make sure you finish the sentence. Start it with a verb that shows action, and then finish whatever happens at the end of the sentence. That's the predicate part. Ben and Jacob. So your job is to tell me what Ben and Jacob did. So make sure, don't just use one word. Use 3 or 4 or 5 words. Make it interesting. Remember we learned about interesting sentences? Make it interesting. Number 4, write a subject part for each sentence. Now, you don't just have to write one word for a subject, although usually one word is the subject, but we can make it more interesting by adding extra things. The first one, blank tastes very sour. Now, we have lots of room there. We could put lots of stuff there. Blank tastes very sour. Maybe you could put homemade lemonade tastes very sour. Or, I don't know, that big green pickle tastes very sour. I don't know. But make sure you start your sentence with a capital letter, of course. Blank flew to the top of that very tall tree. What could we put there? The happy robin flew to the top of that very tall tree. The brown duck flew to the top of that very tall tree? So we're going to write the subject part of that sentence. I want you to think of your own. What flew to the top? It could be silly, I don't care. Mac flew to the top of that very tall tree. I don't know how, but he did. Number 5, mark the sentence and diagram the sentence. When it says mark the sentence, that just means draw the up and down line between the subject and the verb. Underline the subject 1 time and the verb 2 times. Now, it could be more than one subject sometimes, and it could be more than one verb 2 times. But we're draw a line between, underline the subject once and the verb twice. And then on the diagram part, they just want us to put the subject on the left side, write the subject that we underlined 1 time on the left side, and write the verb 1 time on the right side that we underlined 2 times. Big piece of cake. You guys are learning such... I wish, oh my word, I wish I learned this stuff in 2nd grade. You guys are learning stuff that you're going to be using for years. So if you can understand this, you're pretty smart, and I know you can. All right, go ahead and finish your phonics stuff on your own. When you're ready, we'll do a quick rundown of our history and reading like we usually do, and that'll be it for today. So go ahead and pause it if you need to. Today for history, getting real close to the end here. Alright. In history, learning about the history of African Americans in our country, what they did. This guy who invented peanut butter, I think his name was George Washington Carver. Oh, peanut butter! Oh my word, the best thing ever. And then up to page 149, which goes all the way up to here, and there's some questions here, which of course we don't write in our book, but if you want to do those questions and see if you can figure out the answer to those, that will check if you remember what you read. Alright, and then we'll be finishing up the last chapter, very short, with Tomorrow's America. That means the future. And you're part of that. You're part of what our country's future is all about. And last part is all kinds of animals. We're doing 125 to 128. That's not very much reading today. Oh, by the way, I'm sending home, our next book is going to be a chapter book. It's one of my favorite books. It's called All Things Even Frisky. And it's kind of like the first book that we did. It's a chapter book. It's much longer, though. I think our first chapter book that we did, No Longer a Nobody, that was only 6 chapters, and it was pretty short. This has like 18 chapters or 19 chapters, and it's a really cool story about a boy and his puppy. I think you'll like it, but we will start that as soon as we finish with all kinds of animals. So 125 to 128 today. We were doing cardinals. I think we're doing, robins today. Learning a little about robins. It's going to take a long time to read this page with no words on it. And some of these pages, there we go. There's a robin pulling a worm out of the ground. And then a robin whose face is turning into weeds. How weird is that? Oh my word, just kidding. He's just holding up some stuff. And there are some questions on there. So, we finished another week. I will see you on Monday in my next video. Hope you have a great weekend. Be good old bears for Mom and Dad. Have a happy heart. Treat your brothers and sisters kindly if you have brothers and sisters. And do the best that you can. If you're worried about things, pray and talk to God about it. If you have stuff going on, and even if you don't, talk to Him anyways. He wants to hear what you have to say. Okay? I do. I pray for you guys. I pray for your mom and dad, and I pray for our country. And I hope everything's going well at home. Be good. I will see you later.